Today's topic is a little bit spicy, controversial, a historical plot twist, a contract where a man and a woman agree to marry for a set period, from hours to years. In 2013, a BBC investigation found. Now let's zoom into India, specifically Hyderabad, where a similar practice called where minor girls were being sold into these marriages for as little as 20,000 rupees. Or just another example of how laws, traditions, and human behavior evolve over time. Welcome back to another Quick Projects episode, the show where we dig into the oh-so-fascinating, sometimes scandalous, and definitely underrated events in history. I'm Manpreet, your guide through the hidden corridors of time, if you will. Nikah Mut'ah, a temporary marriage in Islam. Wait, hold up. Temporary marriage? Is that like renting a spouse? Well, kind of, but not exactly. Let's dive in. So, picture this. It's the 7th century. No dating apps, no Tinder, no Netflix and chill. You're a traveling merchant or a soldier, miles away from your home, and let's just say, lonely. Enters Nikah Mut'ah or pleasure marriage. Once the time's up, poof, no divorce needed. The contract just expires. Sounds like an ancient loophole for companionships, right? Well, that's not entirely wrong. This way, a way for men, often warriors or traders, to have a legal relationship while on the move, avoiding zina, aka forbidden relationships. But here's the kicker. It was 100% legal during Prophet Muhammad's time, until it wasn't. Sunni Muslims believe the Prophet later banned it, while Shia Muslims argue it was actually Caliph Umar who outlawed it. And just like that, boom, another historical religious split. Fast forward to today, and Mutah still exists, especially in Shia communities. Some call it a halal dating alternative. Others call it a convenient loophole for, well, something else. Take Iran, for example. Temporary marriages are legal there, and some young couples see it as a way to be together without violating the religious laws. But then you have places like Iraq, where investigative reports found the cases of abuses. Women, sometimes girls, being coerced into Mutah marriages for just hours. That's not marriage, that's something else entirely. And let's talk about the real life cases. That some young British Muslims were practicing Mutah marriages as a way to date without guilt. Some even abused the system, marrying and remarrying in quick succession. A red flag alert. This practice can easily be manipulated, turning into a cover for casual relationships, or worse, exploitation. So, is this a sacred tradition, or just a religiously sanctioned situationship? Now let's talk law. Mutah marriages are legal in Iran and some Shia majority regions, but banned in most Sunni majority countries, in countries like Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Pakistan. Mutah is even considered invalid or illegal there. What about women's rights? Some argue that Mutah provides women with financial security, since a dowry or mahr is mandatory. Others say it exploits vulnerable women, especially in war-torn regions where poor families are pressured into temporary marriages. In fact, the UN has reported cases of forced Mutah marriages in Iraq and Syria, often linked to trafficking or coercion. The darker side of Mutah is what makes it so controversial. Now let's zoom into India, specifically Hyderabad, where a similar practice, Sheikh Marriages, has made headlines. Wealthy Arab men, often from the Gulf, travel to Hyderabad to marry young women, sometimes minors, under temporary or short-term contracts. The catch? These marriages often last only a few weeks or months before the men return to their countries, leaving the women behind, sometimes pregnant, sometimes abandoned, and often in a social disgrace. Investigations have revealed a full-fledged industry of brokers, middlemen, and even clerics facilitating these marriages under the guise of religious legitimacy. In 2017, Hyderabad police busted multiple such rackets. Many families trapped in poverty saw this as a way to escape their financial hardships. The Indian government has since cracked down on these exploitative marriages, but the underground nature of these transactions make it difficult to eliminate entirely. Religious scholars are deeply divided on Mutah. Shia clerics argue it's a legitimate practice, allowing consenting adults to form relationships within a religious framework. Sunni scholars claim it's outdated and was explicitly banned by the Prophet himself. Secular critics, they saw it's nothing more than a religious loophole for, well, you know. But here's the million-dollar question. Can an institution designed for an ancient world still work in the 21st century? Some argue that if properly regulated, Mutah could be a more ethical alternative to secret relationships. Others believe it's an archaic practice that opens the door for abuse. So, dear listeners, what do we make out of it? A halal way to navigate modern relationships? A controversial relic of history? But one thing's for sure, history is never boring. And with that, we wrap up today's quick project. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned for more such mind-blowing historical twists. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep the history alive.